welcome to the Wired Podcast. I'm Herman.
I'm Tyron.
And join us for a discussion on multiple subjects. So this is our first video. This is our first video, but yeah, everybody knows the situation in Israel and Gaza. And yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts?
Look, we were having a chat about this earlier, and it's very difficult to pick a side. And I think it's a bit too early to really see who's in the right, who's in the wrong, if there is a right and wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's really something that we have to delve into and discuss.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a quite a big history between the two. If you look at it, it's been coming for years. But I mean, my main question is, isn't there a different way that Israel could have handled the situation between them and Gaza? Or the Palestinians, rather.
There probably definitely is, actually. They could have, instead of announcing an all-out war, like they have, they could rather have multiple missions going out to destroy these targets that they are now attacking and bombing. So that's one approach that they could take.
But that's what I'm saying, is why would you want to destroy them? Isn't there a way that they could peacefully resolve this?
I don't think so.
Why?
I don't think Hamas is someone that wants to negotiate. I think they want
But are
to...
the Israelites someone that wants to negotiate? That's the question as well.
I think they'd be willing to if Hamas were to be open to negotiations. I definitely think they would.
But they are.
I don't think so.
Currently, they've got these hostages, right?
Yeah.
The Israeli hostages. And the only way that they said, this is according to Hamas, they said the only way they're going to release the hostages is if a ceasefire is discussed. And if a ceasefire is brought into action. So, I mean, where do you go from there? Is the ceasefire actually going to be called, or is Israel, are they going to throw caution into the wind and continue with the ground raids? Just destroy the Gaza Strip totally? What is the bloody objective for the Israelites at the moment? With America getting involved.
So,
I mean, why is America involved in the first place?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Americans coming into this. I don't think they have a place in this war. I think this should remain between Israel and Palestine, Gaza Strip at least. Yeah. With regards to the negotiations, I still believe that they would be open to negotiations, but the reason they want to eliminate the threat is because it's essentially, if someone broke into your house, you'd want revenge.
No, of course.
Obviously, I do not condone the innocent people dying. Not at all.
No, I mean, the women and children dying.
That's why I think there's a much better way to do this.
Apart from the women and children dying, all these innocent men just trying to defend their families.
Yeah.
Dying and getting shot at and being bombed, quite literally, by the Israelites.
100%. However, the Israelites can't just now at this current state cease fire, because there is still the threat to them. If they cease fire now, what's stopping Hamas from going on a second?
Let's look at it like this, right? So let's say this is Israel, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gaza is literally this little piece here. The Gaza Strip's right there. This little piece here. So you're telling me that the Gaza Strip, this little piece, is a big threat to this whole piece over here?
I don't think it's a big threat. I think if Israel really wanted to, they could just end them today.
And that's what they're busy doing.
No, the thing is, if they really wanted to just eliminate the entire Gaza Strip, they could very quickly do that.
But I mean,
I think what they're doing right now is they're actually targeting certain known operation points for Hamas, and that's the biggest issue.
But they're not. They are bombing willy-nilly, and they are going crazy with the ground raids. I mean, they dropped pamphlets the other day over the Gaza Strip telling the people to evacuate because they're going to
Because
start
they're gonna bomb,
airstriking and raiding or whatever.
At least they warned them.
But what happened is the people evacuating from the area that they said was going to be raided and taken over.
Yeah,
Those people in the
I believe it
trucks-
was from the north to the south. Or
Something
south
like that,
to
I
the
can't
north.
remember. But what happened is those people leaving the area got bombed.
Yeah.
They got
I read about
got
this.
shot up by the Israelites, and it doesn't make sense.
I read about that and it was very, very painful to hear. I definitely don't want to condone such behavior because at the end of the day, if you want to eliminate the threat, you eliminate the threat, not the people around them.
Exactly.
It does make it very difficult
Innocent people.
with Hamas using them as
Human
shields.
shields. Human shields.
it makes it very difficult to actually eliminate the biggest threat to them. Well, not the biggest,
Well, I mean, if you
but
look-
one of their threats.
It's difficult. I mean,
And
there could have been different. I don't know.
look, I'm very concerned about it becoming a full blown war scenario.
It's already
When-
full blown war scenario.
Yeah, it's definitely a war. Don't get me wrong, but what I mean is when Israel actually goes into full force on the ground, because at the moment they're just preparing to go in. So they've gone into Gaza a couple of times to prepare to actually go in with their
That's the
inside
point of
troops.
this is now the second ground raid that they've done, essentially on the Gaza Strip,
Yeah,
and that is in preparation of actually going into Gaza full force.
yes. And the problem comes in with Hezbollah out of Lebanon. They've said that once Israel actually comes in with their ground forces, they're going to get involved. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, Hezbollah is a much bigger threat. Much bigger threat than,
Well, than the
Hamas is.
Palestinians. Than the Palestinians. I mean, like I said earlier, the Palestinians and the Gaza Strip is only like a tiny little piece.
Yeah.
And I understand that you have different types of threats and insurgents and this and whatever. But how can you tell me that Israel is threatened by such a tiny piece of land and the people living in that tiny piece of land that they actually have to go full on war
Yeah.
with this little tiny piece of land? It's insane. And then you have the Americans trying to, for some reason, involve themselves by sending fucking air carriers.
Yeah, all sorts of arms and munitions. It just doesn't make any sense.
Why would
At the
America
same
be
time-
involved?
At the
It
same
doesn't make
time,
sense.
they're supplying some aid into the Gaza Strip, the Americans, but that's being used.
How can we prove
towards? We can't. But is it that unlikely that these efforts are being used?
I mean,
in the wrong way.
yeah, well, no. Look, the Americans are on the Israeli side for some reason.
Yeah.
Why would you send a fucking air carrier close to the shore of fucking Israel or wherever you want to put it to be able to do airstrikes?
You've got a point there.
The Americans don't have to involve themselves in everything happening in the Middle East and
Or
in that part of the world.
They should actually contain themselves to themselves.
Exactly.
To be honest, they should fix the problems that they've got in their own country and not get involved in everyone
Exactly,
else's
but-
problems.
They just can't help it for some reason.
They can't help war.
I mean, look at it. They bombed Syria recently again because American troops were attacked. Whatever. I don't know.
Yes,
I think it's just America's just a money machine when it comes to war.
Oh yeah, no, they spend billions. They love
Yeah,
spending
and they
billions.
make billions.
I mean, they supply Israel with billions of dollars to
Yeah.
to arm
But
themselves.
where's the money coming
Check
from
their-
to supply that?
Obviously, their
Those
taxpayers.
weapons, you know what I mean? So it's a war machine, America, because they make money out of war,
Yeah,
and that's why they
and that's why they
constantly-
continuously supply.
Exactly, that's why they constantly involve themselves in these little conflicts going on around the world, and mostly in the Middle East at the moment.
And for the most part, they make it worse. They make it worse than
Yeah.
it actually should be.
Yeah, just leave the people to do their own thing, sort themselves out, and that's it. And if you really want to help somebody, be on the side of the underdog.
Not always true, though.
Why?
I've got to say, because as much as Gaza Strip is just this tiny little piece, I understand that there is a threat living there.
But it's not a threat to the Americans.
It is. It is
a
still
little bit.
To an extent, yes. It doesn't happen that often as the media lets us to believe.
Yeah.
But I understand that Israel also vowed to remove them from the face of the earth. Unfortunately, I do not like the way that they're doing it.
Yeah.
The way they're doing it is losing way too many lives.
Innocent lives.
Innocent lives, yes. Like, if they're eliminating threats, great. But they've, what? How many lives of Palestinian lives have been lost?
Well, today the update was 7,300. And then that's 7,300 lives lost.
Yeah.
And then 17,000 plus injured.
Yeah. And if you think about it, the attacks that Hamas had on them, 1,300, I believe, lives lost.
There might be more.
200 captured. It's a lot, don't get me wrong, and I feel for their lives just as much.
Yeah. There's no need to lose an innocent
How much
life.
more?
It's crazy.
How much more death has to happen for anything to be resolved?
But that's why I was saying in the beginning, why can't this be resolved peacefully?
It all depends
From
on
any side, from Israel or from Hamas' side or whoever.
So it depends on what the negotiations will be. So if they do negotiate, what does Hamas want? What does Israel want?
Well, look,
what do the Palestinians want?
It's contentious because it's a holy war, if you want to put it like that, because it's regarding Jerusalem
and
mainly.
The Jewish community.
It's the Holy Land for not only the Christians, but for Islam as well.
Yes. The Al-Aqsa Mosque. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but I know early in the year or last year there was an attack on the mosque or some sort of protest action going on there.
I can't remember.
Apparently,
I have to look it up.
Apparently, the whole point of the Hamas attack on Israel was because of what happened at the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Yeah, but you see, this has been going on for generations and generations.
Yeah,
it's because it's basically a land dispute of who owns what where.
Yes,
and it's all based around belief. And it's crazy actually.
The scary
Why can't
part
everybody?
Is, the scary part is when I wouldn't say when a group that is so ingrained into their religion that they become hateful towards another, it just creates more war and more hatred for those that are left behind.
No,
I mean, the Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, what is that creating for the Palestinian people?
No, of course,
it's creating hatred towards Israel.
But they've had hatred from the beginning.
Yes.
That's why this started.
But it's not going to get better.
It's not, because they don't want to get to a peaceful resolution with each other and say, okay, you know what, this is Holy Land for you, this is Holy Land for me. Let's resolve this peacefully and just continue on. But it's not going to happen at all.
And they tried these negotiations back in 2005, and they got nowhere. And Israel then decided to leave the Gaza Strip completely. They evacuated their people into the rest of Israel. They left the Gaza Strip to be on their own.
Well, I mean, they fenced it off. It's been fenced off
it's
for how many years? For years and years.
It really is a divided country.
The Israelites rather caged the Palestinians into a certain little area, and that's where they kept them. They literally fenced them in.
However, they were still supplying water and electricity to them, and some routes towards so that they can survive. However, they were free to have their own political presence and political parties voting, all that stuff, and they voted Hamas into this.
Yeah, into the position they are now.
Yes.
That's fine. But, I mean, apart from Hamas being in control, or rather whatever they might be, wherever the seat of power for them might lie, how true is it really? Can we believe the stories coming out of Israel saying that they actually support the Gaza Strip or the Palestinians in a way that aids them? Because you've got constant power cuts in the Gaza Strip at the moment, and I understand it's because of the bombing and the raids and everything going on, but was there really a constant water supply, a constant electricity supply, or a constant medical supply?
And these are all valid points.
Can we actually believe the news that's coming out? Or
And what's worse about this is the water and electricity supply, even if it was constant, even if it was easily accessible, the problem is it comes from Israel. So who's in control of that water?
Exactly.
So they can, in an instant, cut their ties.
That's the problem. So they're saying that they're constantly providing all of these resources, but are they really?
Or are they just trying to get an advantage on...
No, well, not even an advantage. Are they just lying to the rest of the world so that they can look better?
Yeah.
That's my
And that
question.
could be said for either side. I mean, we don't know if the death tolls are correct. We don't know if the deductions from the bombings are correct.
Well, I
We
mean, if
don't
you look at the latest images and stuff coming out,
Yeah.
and the videos coming out, I mean, it's going to be difficult to try and fake something like that, don't you think?
Definitely, yes. I'm not talking about faking. I'm more talking about where did it come from? Let's say,
which source? Is it coming from?
where's the source? Was it Israeli? Was it
Yeah.
a failed attempt from Hamas?
No, it's not even failed. It's if you look at the news sources coming out. I mean, if this stuff is being faked, it's got to be the biggest movie in the world, with the biggest CGI budget in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to work for that company. They're making good money.
Making good movies. If it's true.
What a world we live in.
Oh, that's crazy. That's insane. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You don't know who to trust anymore, especially in the days with AI and CGI and everything going on.
Yeah.
You don't know which news source to trust and
I mean, obviously, we did some of our
which
research.
government to trust.
And neither of us used the same resources. We don't know where you
Who's
researched
correct?
things.
Is Al Jazeera right? Is Reuters right? Who's correct in the story?
Is America telling you any truth? Or they're telling the
Yeah.
truth?
Who controls CNN?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
It's very difficult to disseminate who is actually
Yeah.
giving you the real truth. Because a
That's
lot
the
of the
thing.
media nowadays is just pure lies, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
Or
a lot of it. Yeah.
fear-mongering.
Fear-mongering, money-mongering,
Money that
whatever.
makes the world go round, right?
Exactly, and that's why America's getting involved in this.
Money, money, money.
Exactly.
They need to maintain some power. I think they've been under threat a lot quite now recently with various sources wanting to take over some of their power because they feel that America is such a superpower and they've got nothing to defend themselves
So
with.
you actually make a good point. If you look at the rise of BRICS,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
BRICS currency is threatening the US dollar, and the biggest moneymaker for America is war.
Yeah.
And that's why they're probably getting involved in the Ukraine-Russian war as well. Try to make money, supply the weapons to NATO. NATO sends the weapons out to Ukraine, and they try and make money from that. I don't know.
And
Now
that's
they're trying to do the same thing in the Israel-Gaza situation.
Yeah. And they'll probably end up doing that in the next situation that's going to arise because there will be a next situation.
Always.
There's
But
always
who's causing
something more.
who's going to cause the next situation? That's the question.
That is the question. I mean, we never know until it happens.
Oh, we'll
And
see.
Maybe they have a bit of a change of scenery. Maybe it's not Asia. Maybe we're going to Africa this time.
Yeah,
We can get some action.
we hope not. Let's just cross our fingers
Definitely not.
and pray not.
In a perfect world, we would have no war.
Where will you escape to if something like that happens and the USA actually starts attacking South Africa?
Is there any escape? They've got
There
some
might
big.
be.
They've got some big weapons there.
Well, look, we've got some tiny islands down south towards the Antarctic, so
Let's just go live in Antarctica in a tent or something.
grab a ship somewhere, just hide away and travel down to Antarctica and just bugger off.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I think the safest place to go when America wants to bomb you is go to America.
Exactly.
Because
That might be the solution to this.
yeah, but we're in America, somewhere where no one lives, because no one wants to bomb that place.
Maybe not. Go to Texas.
True, I would like Texas.
Texas is something interesting. You have to go there.
I'll definitely visit one day.
I think that the Texans are the closest to South Africans that you'll find in America.
Oh.
To be honest. But yeah, back to the subject.
Yeah, let's get back on track here.
Do you think that Russia might get involved in this little conflict or not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Maybe if things escalate, like immensely. So let's just
if you have multiple countries involved,
Yes.
like
so
Turkey
we know
or
that
whoever.
we know that Hezbollah has said that they're going to get involved
Yeah.
when Israel, if they do, enter Gaza
actually
Strip.
invades.
So then that's already the next country entering into this game,
Yeah,
which is a problem because then it just grows. Then the death toll's going
just
to rise.
expands, and that's when
And just more people are
America
gonna die.
starts doing airstrikes, or
Yes.
Egypt starts coming in and getting into the mix and just starts screwing up everything.
And then we're going to really have to worry about where does it end.
Yeah,
Because
who's going to
then,
get involved?
Then Russia can get involved. Well,
Maybe.
they can now, but they
Maybe,
could then
maybe
decide
not.
this is our opportunity to take over this
Whatever.
territory.
Yeah,
Like we don't care about what you guys are actually fighting about, but
Yeah.
we want this territory.
yeah.
So there's so many more problems that can arise from just other countries entering.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be an
Um,
interesting situation because.
It could even mean that Russia then decides, hey, all the intention is now here between Israeli and Gaza Strip. Let us now make our move and take back our territories we had.
How are they going to do that?
Well, all the tension's focused here, so
Maybe.
they've got a prime opportunity then to take back what they've got. Because they've got a substantial military presence.
Well, yeah, no, they do. I mean, it's not as big as Russia or India, but.
No, I'm talking about Russia. So if Russia wants
Oh,
to
of
take
course,
over...
no, yeah. I'm talking about China, sorry.
Yeah, you're
It's
correct.
not as big as China or India.
Yeah, well, it's highest populated countries,
Oh,
you know.
That's crazy. If China decides to invade somebody,
They're gonna
hands
just
down,
by
they're
sheer
going to take
numbers,
it over.
they can take over.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean,
insane.
you can have 3 soldiers for every 1 soldier of whatever country they want to
No,
take
I
over.
think it's something more like 6 or 7.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's wow.
So it'll be a very big problem if countries start saying we want to get involved and we want to solve this.
Countries are already doing that.
Okay, well,
Especially, let's focus on
They
the big
mention-
boy. On the big boy.
on the big boy, America,
Which is America. Why are they getting involved in the first place?
they want money.
Yeah, no. Well,
Well, besides money, they want. I believe
what
they
is
want
the connection?
territory.
Why would they want territory in Israel?
It could possibly be oil. We don't know. Is there oil there?
I'll have to check.
We'd have to check that. Yeah.
But I don't think so. It's not.
You know-
it's about well. Why is the support there? It's the biggest question. I might have to look it up, but I don't think you're gonna just find that online.
Look, it could also be political. It could be that they've got a political interest in Israel. I don't know what. But there's so many various reasons that they could want to get involved besides money. Or
they're
the
getting
fun of
involved
war,
because
I suppose.
Well, the fun of war for them is money.
Yeah.
War is money for America.
But it's also, I suppose, to prove that they are still the kings of military.
The top dog.
Yeah.
They want to show
Kings
that
of the
they're top
world.
dog, yeah.
I mean, the US president, if the US president says this...
Oh, let's not start on Joe Biden, please. That's a different subject.
But it's not just
Completely.
Joe Biden. Whoever is the president in the US is the president.
Well, if you look at Donald Trump,
Mm.
he might be a different player. How would Donald Trump resolve the issue between Israel and the Palestinians?
Yeah, it's a good question. He did say the other day that it would have never happened if he was still president. I don't know how he would have gotten it right, but it would have been amazing.
That would have been interesting to see.
Definitely. But at the same time, people probably wouldn't appreciate it. Because if it happened before this happens, it's just another deal that he struck.
Well, if it benefits his country,
Yeah.
why is he a bad president?
No, he's not a bad president, I believe.
Well,
I
according
believe
to a lot of
that-
people in the world, he's the worst president America has ever had.
Yeah, that's a good point. So in my mind, I believe that what his main idea was, or at least this is what I think about it. If you're in your country, what do you have to do? You have to fix your country. You have to save your country.
Yeah.
That's your only concern. That's why he put sanctions on all these different places.
Certain places.
He wanted people to create things within the country because they can.
That's why he strengthened deals between Canada, America, and Mexico.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, the unemployment rate was at its lowest. I think.
When he was in.
Yeah, in like 40 years or something like that when he was in charge, and
that's because
the American economy was growing.
People now have to create their own things.
And you know why? Because Donald Trump treated America as a business,
which he can.
No, but he's got the mind for it.
Yeah.
Look, he's lost a few businesses.
He's gone bankrupt a couple times.
Yeah, but he keeps building himself up and he stays at top with his money. And what he does is he builds the country like it is a little business. Not even a little business, it's a massive business.
And if you think about it, that's how a country should be run in a capitalist society. You want to make money.
Exactly.
And the more money you make, the better the lives can be.
But now you've got these little crybabies that want to get the world into socialism. And
socialism is a whole different
topic as well. but
we also have to understand.
That like that.
We also have to understand, just to get back to the conflict going on in Israel.
Got off topic there. But
yeah, no, it's important stuff.
Yeah.
Going back to this, we also have to remember that we do not think the same than everyone else. No one thinks the same as we do. You don't think the same as I do.
Of course not.
And it's especially relevant when we think of different continents, different countries.
Yeah, it's different cultures. There's different lifestyles, different.
They don't value the same things we do.
Of course not. But
we might hate one thing. They might love that thing. We think it's wrong. They think it's right.
Exactly, but this is where this conflict is coming from.
That's exactly. The differences in religion between those two countries, the Muslim and the Jewish communities, that's also a very big driver for this. Unfortunately, I wish everyone could just get along.
But they don't want to. They don't want to.
And that's also just to
illustrate
that. Exactly, but not to say I stand by Israel. I also understand why they want to eliminate them.
Oh, why is that?
How many times in history have Jews been targeted? Or the Jewish community been targeted all over? Not just in the big events, the Holocaust, the various big events where the Jewish people were targeted.
Okay, if you look at the Bible
smaller
sense of it, maybe.
Yeah.
But in modern times, modern history books, World War II. Apart from that, I cannot think of anything apart from the Bible. Pardon?
World War One.
No, World War One's nothing to do with the Jewish.
Okay, good point.
World War One started because Franz Ferdinand was killed. He was assassinated, and that's why it started.
Yeah, see, I haven't done my research about World War One. I shouldn't have mentioned that. You see?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Obviously, you know a bit better.
Maybe.
Just a little. So, look, I think they might be a little bit scared and they're overreacting.
Who's overreacting?
Israel.
I don't think they're overreacting.
Oh.
No.
I thought
they're just acting. They're acting on their own will.
So
because they want to eliminate the Palestinians.
I don't think they want to eliminate the Palestinians. I think they want to eliminate Hamas, as they vowed.
Yeah.
It might be.
No, it goes a lot deeper than Hamas. I think it's more of an Israeli hate towards the Palestinians, and maybe the conflict between Judaism and Islam.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to get them out of the Holy Land, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Could very well be.
No, I think it is. I believe it is.
Yeah.
Historically, that's what it's been about.
Yeah. So I now again believe that they are trying to protect their citizens from a potential bigger threat.
From a little tiny
group, yes. That tiny little group, they don't know much about them. They don't know what they've got going on, and how did they get to invade?
That's just what they're telling you.
That's true.
That's what you read today. That's part of the sources that you read, saying that the Israelis don't know whether
Don't know what Hamas is holding. Yes,
which is
but at the same
lie.
time,
It has to be a lie. I mean, how can you have this little piece here and this big piece over here, and you don't know what's going on in this little sentence over here? That's a lie.
Good point.
They're lying to us.
But at the same time, we can't outright say yes, they are going after the Palestinians or that territory.
They are.
To take them out.
They are. Exactly.
We can't
That's
say that
exactly
for
what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
But is that not what was done to them?
To who?
To the Israels.
To the Jews.
With the first attacks. Yes.
Which first attacks?
On October 7th, the one we're talking about.
Okay, they took
that attack
because
of religion.
Yeah.
So they're
this has been ongoing for years. It's not a new thing. Now the only thing is.
So yes, the hatred between the two religions instead of.
It's been there for years and years and years and years, and it's just ongoing. But now Israel's got the power, and they've got the gall to actually go for it and say,
and
you know what, we're gonna fuck you up. We're gonna take you over.
But why would they warn the people then?
Well, probably they want to try and save innocent lives, but I mean, then
but if the innocent lives of Palestinian or Islam.
Oh, well, Palestinians. It's the Palestinians in Gaza Strip. The Israelis warned them by dropping flyers with aeroplanes over the Gaza Strip
and the
telling them to evacuate, whatever. And they started evacuate. The Palestinians started evacuating on trucks, cars, whatever they could find, and those trucks were bombed and completely fucked. So, why would you warn them if you're just going to fuck them up in the end?
Good point.
What's the point?
I don't know. Maybe to save face.
Maybe it was an accident.
Maybe they want to say, okay, well, we didn't intend to do it.
Yeah, maybe it was an accident. Maybe it was an intentional accident.
Those happen all the time. It's more than we realize.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be a happy coincidence for them.
Yeah. Look, well, let's not laugh about innocent people.
No, it's not a laughing matter for any lives to really be lost.
Yeah.
It's not really for us to say.
That's what I keep saying is why can't they resolve this peacefully? Why can't there be actual peace talks and say, you know what, we accept you, accept us. Let's work on this together. You have the Holy Land, we have the Holy Land. Let's share the Holy Land.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you think about, initially I was going to say Israel's trying to get back at what was done to them. However, now at this moment, have they not done that? Have they not tripled the death count?
It's crazy.
So I agree now. Should there not be a ceasefire now? No. Should there not be negotiations?
There should have been one decades ago.
Should maybe some of the land be
exactly, but take away the bloody cages, the walls that you put the Palestinians in, take them away and get rid of it. Live in peace together and just share the bloody land and get over yourself.
There are ways to do this in a way that you can still protect your citizens. So I get that there are a militant group in there that you're scared of. That's fine. That happens. There's a way to have the innocent lives come through and mix with the rest of Israel to actually make the territories form one again.
Why are they called extremists? Who's calling them extremists?
I'm not calling them extremists. They're a militant group. That's
okay, but extremists, militant group, whatever. It might be a militant group, but who says that they would be so extreme if they weren't under threat?
It's point.
If they
weren't blocked off.
Yeah, but if they weren't under threat, they might be an actual good governing body that can actually operate in peace with whoever
and broker deals between the different peoples, different religions, have them actually live peacefully together.
Yeah,
but has that not been tried before?
I don't know.
Is that
I don't think so.
I believe that was the whole reason for them leaving.
The hatred runs too deep. I mean, if you look at it, Jewish refugees that actually landed in Palestine.
Yeah.
They took them in, no question. The Palestinians accepted them, no question. Apparently, that's what I've read.
I read a story about an old black lady.
Where's the peace? Where's the hand being outstretched and say, you know what, let's have peace and let's just move forward together. Yeah. We'll share this and we'll share that. Or I don't know. There's a lot of people that might disagree with this, but that's what I think needs to happen: is share the bloody land, share the peace, be happy with each other, and just move on.
So on the peace negotiations that you mentioned earlier, I think I read it. I didn't read the entire article, but apparently Qatar is now entering into peace negotiations with Hamas to release the hostages that they did take.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it just came out just before we started this conversation. Yeah. So I'd have to read more into it, but apparently there are other countries now, more countries, trying to have this come to an end, release the hostages that were taken, so that some sort of peace can be released. Because I can also understand that Israel doesn't want to stop until those that are still alive can come back.
Yeah.
Or have the opportunity to still have a life.
I believe what I read was that Hamas is calling for a ceasefire, and when a ceasefire is called, then the hostages will be released.
Well, then it might just be as simple as that.
It's a very contentious.
It's
a tense situation. Let's call it that, rather.
And it's a very difficult one to take apart and actually see what is really going on.
Yo, that's crazy. It's a difficult subject. Anyway, it's an interesting topic.
I think it's one to be explored still. I don't think it's something that can just be left.
I don't think it's you know what, it's still far from over. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, it's not going to end soon, abruptly,
because the tension is still going to be there, even if there's a ceasefire called. Yeah. I mean, it's still going to remain.
A ceasefire could be called,
very tense,
and within a couple of weeks, something could happen.
Again.
Yeah,
exactly.
And obviously, we don't want that. I think we've heard enough about all the war going on in the world lately.
And the innocent people dying in the Gaza Strip, and
all the families,
the innocent people losing their lives, and
the children
Israel,
leaving their parents.
You know, it's from both sides. People losing their lives on both sides of this conflict. It's insane.
And I mean, it's also unfortunately going crazy all over the rest of the world.
With the financial situations in some countries and the policy, but it's.
I mean, what I mean is, yes, the families are being destroyed in this war, but they've also got extended families all across the world, and they're feeling it. And you can only imagine the repercussions that follow and spread across the world.
Yeah, because of the extended family, people living in Australia or America. Or France or wherever they might be. It doesn't matter, but people, innocent people losing their lives because of certain beliefs and certain distinctions between territory and this and that, it doesn't make sense, and it's quite sad.
It is. It is
very to die because of that,
and it's usually because of someone in a high up chair decides that this is now time
to do this.
A lot of people to die because of their cause.
Just because of a basic belief system or an intricate belief system, whatever it might be. Yeah.
It's
the loss of lives on both sides.
It's not.
I'm not for it. No.
Not a chance.
I don't support the loss of life anyway. Especially the loss of life in the Gaza Strip.
Look, that being said, I think that this is something that we need to keep on top of.
We'll probably
give a couple updates
as soon as we know a bit more. I mean, we saw today that the second ground raid happened, and that Israel is preparing for an invasion, and
Hamas is in negotiation stage
for a ceasefire. They want to get a ceasefire going, and they want to release They will only release the hostages
when
a ceasefire comes in. Yeah. But yeah, we'll keep our finger on it.
And let you guys, the audience, know as much as we know.
Yeah. Guys, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Remember to like
and subscribe.
Subscribe and comment down below if you've got any of your own thoughts on the matter. we'll do our best to get to them. But be sure to follow along, see what else we are going to be discussing over the months.
We've got a few episodes coming out. It's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It's going to be a good time. Cheers.
Have a good one.